Hello lovely dance friends, welcome back to another technique tips video. Today we're going to learn about two different kinds of ribcage slides that we use in a lot of our other belly dance movement. We use these when we do ribcage circles, we do sidewinders or figure eights of the ribcage with these, torso rotations. There are a bunch of different movements that work with side to side ribcage movement. So we're going to talk about two different ways to achieve that for two different looks and the movements that we can combine them into in the future. So beginning with our horizontal ribcage slide. So horizontal right here. So we're going to be sliding our whole ribcage from one side to the other across our center. Now what's really important here is that we think about the rib cage itself as fully displacing itself from center, from off of your hips, right? Like this. Instead of tilting to get over there, we're going to talk about a tilting rib cage slide in just a moment, but we want to start with this horizontal slide. What's the secret? It's right here. It's in these side body muscles, the obliques that come down through your waist, supported a little bit by your lat muscles in the same position on your back. So we're going to bring our shoulders back and down. What I want you to do is think about contracting that muscle group on one side with the intention of pushing the rib cage over to the other side. So we're looking for the shoulders to stay level. All right, and we're going to come back to center and do it to the other side. So contract here and stay over there. I'm going to call your attention to something else. So I'm going to come over onto this side and I feel an expansion of the same muscle group on this side. So I'm stretching here, contracting here. This is short, this is long, and I've moved my ribs across, my shoulders are level. So I'm going to do that a couple more times, straight through and across, straight through and across, straight through and across. And my arms stay still, shoulders are relaxed, hips aren't moving. There might be a temptation to get the hips going in the opposite direction, which might be fun to do, might look nice, but just to work on the isolation itself, make sure you got a little bend in the knees and that your pelvis is in a nice neutral position, and you should be able to slide across without moving your hips, without shifting your weight through your feet, and without tilting your shoulders. So this is our horizontal ribcage slide, and this is the one we use the most. We incorporate this into ribcage circles and other types of movement. Our sidewinders, those figure eights of the ribcage, use these side-to-side undulations, torso rotations. A lot of that begins with this particular horizontal ribcage slide. Now, the vertical ribcage slide goes back to this idea I was talking about before, where I said in the horizontal, we don't want to tilt the rib cage. Here we do want to tilt the rib cage, but in a very specific way. So when we are tilting the rib cage, if I just told you to tilt your rib cage, the most likely thing that would happen in your body and your brain is I got to shorten this side. I have to tilt down. We don't want to think of this as a downward movement. We want to think of this as an upward expansive movement. So rather than thinking about the side that's going to get shorter, I want you to think about the side that's going to get longer. And the side that's going to get longer expands and lifts up without the shoulder lifting up. Yes, the shoulders tilt, but the shoulder itself is down and relaxed. And I'm still in my center. So I'm sliding up on one side of the rib cage. This side, rather than being down, I'll show you what down looks like. That's this side down. Rather than being down, I'm thinking of this side, the short side, supporting the long side by pressing up. Even take your hand right into your rib cage and press up. And you'll start to feel how much length you can get in the side body here, and you get rid of compression in the side body over here. You're still contracting. It doesn't get rid of the contraction, but it gets rid of the compression of allowing your upper body to drop down into that side. Let's do the other side. So same idea. Think of pressing from this side to expand on this side, and you feel a nice long stretch here. You don't feel the compression here. You actually feel that it's pushing up on the angle to the other side. That shoulder is relaxed. Shoulders, yes, are tilted. And I should be keeping my head level. So try to keep the head level. Sometimes when I slow it down, my head goes over. So come back to center. I'm going to do a few of those, one side and then the other. Here we go. Shoulders down. And we go up, up, up. And just keep thinking up. You're pressing up, keeping this high. So yeah, it's a tilt. However, it's not a tilt down. It's an opening. So you can tilt the ribs in an upward position. And this is going to give a lot more space and height to your ribcage circles, to your sidewinders, to your torso rotations, and other moves that will use that tilting motion. But think of the length in the tilt rather than the compression on the opposite side in the tilt. Usually that's where our brain goes. It's not about how far to the side can you bend yourself in half. It's about how effectively you can lengthen and utilize these muscles to give yourself a nice long torso line in the movement. All right, so I'm going to put on a little bit of rhythmic music and we're going to drill both of these isolations all by themselves and feel the difference between them. Okay, so here we are getting ready to do this. Shoulders are down, we're relaxed, knees are slightly bent, pelvis is in the right position, ribs are lifted. We're going to start with that horizontal slide, contracting one side to slide the ribs straight across. Bend the knees, and 5, 6, 7, and contract and slide and hold. I want you to really feel that contraction, feel the expansion. Slide and hold on one side, slide and hold. Hips are even and still. Weight is not shifting, and our pelvis is in line. It is in a nice neutral position, so our booty is not sticking out behind us. Let's speed this up. Slide. And 2. Shoulders are level. Head is level. No tilting anywhere. Everything is just going straight to the side. Hips are still. It might feel like they're moving, but just check in or even hold on to them if it helps you. Slide and slide and slide. I'm going to do a few more here. Then we're going to look at that vertical slide. And 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take a little break. And we're going to go into that vertical slide, remembering that the short side is pushing the long side up to make it longer. So, getting back into our posture, and I'm going to start over here, pressing up. So I go, press it up to lift. Other side. And I want you, again, to hold that for a moment, slide it, lift it. Shoulder stays relaxed. Hips stay even. Weight stays even. And just keep thinking of lifting, opening the ribs up like a fan. And it stays in your center. All right, we're going to take this one a little faster now. Slide it up, up, up. Heels are down. Make sure those heels are down. That's when it gets really tempting to start rocking the hips. If you're lifting your hips up and down, you're probably making something happen in the low body that isn't going to help us at all. So lift. I also recommend doing both of these isolations seated in a chair. Then you take the low body away from yourself completely and you only have the upper body to focus on. And that's where you can really get everything talking to each other. Shoulders are still relaxed. Remember, they tilt, but not because you've done anything with them. They're tilting because the rib cage tilts and they just go along for the ride. All right, just a few more here. This is a short drill, just to practice the isolation. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thanks for joining me for today's little technique tip drill. And if you are interested in the movements we create with these isolations, I do have other videos in this playlist for ribcage circles, sidewinders, and side-to-side undulations. So check those out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to have more technique tips for belly dance. I release them once a week, and I will see you in the next one.